Hey, oh, hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you. What the fuck just happened? All right, I'm just gonna go with it because it made the din noise twice, which means it starts. So I don't know why it's doing this, but okay. So I'm here to give you my WWE RAW review, as you can tell from the title down below. Um, and it's for February 16th, 2015. Now I really made this video yesterday. Um, However, I was not able. What happened was I was not using my dad's old computer, and for some odd reason, it wouldn't let me upload it. So it didn't let me. So I'm just doing it now. I was actually pretty pissed off about it because I don't have my other computer because the charger. I'm missing part of the charger, so I don't know where that went. I might get a new computer too. As you can tell from from the bottom, I'm looking at the title right now that there's certain matches that happens that I'm going to talk. That there's a certain thing that happened that I'm going to talk about. Now my phone's over there charging, so I can't really go off my notes um, because it's charging. So I'm just gonna go off from what I remember. The first thing I want to talk about is golden. Well, let me talk about the stuff I missed because I didn't see the whole show because I only missed like the first segment. But I heard John Cena attacked Rusev and he knocked him out, threw him into the stage, and he said he's gonna beat him for the U.S. title and holds up the title. I thought that was all fine and good. No complaints there. Um, and then Gold and Stardust, I'm just going to talk about them. Dusty Rhodes was there. I think they could have used Dusty Rhodes a little bit more because I think they should have had like a segment instead of a match, but I hate that they had a backstage segment. But Dusty Rhodes tells Stardust that you can look at all the space and all the stars and all the magic and stuff like that, but it means nothing without family. So then Gold and Stardust make up, and then they have a match against Kofi Kingston and Big E. No, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods with Big E ringside. They're all members of the New Day, and the match was going pretty good. Stardust tried to go off the top and hit a disaster kick on Kofi, but then he almost hits Goldust, so they got into it, and then Kofi Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise on Goldust for the win, and afterwards, Stardust is going to help him up, but then he lays him out with Crossroads and leaves. So they finally did the breakup here. I'm actually pretty happy about that. I can't wait to see what they do with this breakup. I can't wait, to be honest with you. I just can't wait to see the match at Mania. It's pretty much like 3 years in the making. Well, yeah, around 3 or 4 years in the making because they've been teasing it. They teased it at 28, and then they teased it at 29. They teased it at 30, and they're gonna finally do Goldust versus Stardust at WrestleMania, and I think that's awesome. Um, and then backstage, Dusty Rhodes is talking to Stardust, and he's like, "What are you doing, Cody? That's your brother." And Stardust tells Dusty Rhodes that Cody Rhodes is dead and Stardust is the new light. And he tells them that he's sick and tired of living under the Rhodes family name, so he's just going to live under Stardust now. So I'm pretty happy about that. I can't wait to see the Gold and Stardust match. And I think this is going to be Goldust's last match. Is it going to be at Mania? I think afterwards Goldust will be gone and Stardust will continue to rise. Will continue to be in the WWE, obviously. And I think this is going to be his retirement match because I don't really see what else Goldust could really do. And next year, um, either Dusty Rhodes or Cody Rhodes will induct Goldust into the Hall of Fame. And then, so yeah, that was that. I was really happy with that. We got a match between Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. It was actually a pretty good match. Dean Ambrose went to dive on Luke Harper and he caught him, bounced him off the rope. And this was on the outside. He went to do the suicide dive and then hit a big boot on him. Ambrose hit a corner clothesline and a bulldog. Ambrose went to do the clothesline off the ropes, but then Harper caught him into like a Windsor change move. And then Ambrose went to do like a I don't even know what he went for, but he went to run at Harper and then he hit a super kick on him and Ambrose kicked out of it. And then Ambrose bounced off the ropes, hit a clothesline and dirty deeds for the win. And afterwards, he had this contract that he wanted Bad News Barrett to sign so he can get his Intercontinental Championship match. And later on in the night, Bad News Barrett had a match with Damian Mizdow, and the Miz was ringside, and the Miz said that if he knocks some sense into Damian Mizdow, He'll help him to protect him from Dean Ambrose. I thought that was cool. And anytime Damien Mizdow was wrestling the match, Miz is just such a great heel at doing this. He kept distracting the Damien Mizdow kept saying, "Hey Damien, I need you to buff my shoes." And then I thought it was great. And then Damien Mizdow was in control, and then the Miz is like, "Hey Damien, I have my glasses have some. I need you to shine my glasses a little bit." And then he's like, "Oh, never mind." And then Barrett hits the bull hammer for the win. So they're still teasing the breakup between the Miz and Damien Mizdow, which is going to lead to a match probably at WrestleMania, which I think is fine. And then afterwards, Dean Ambrose comes out, attacks Bad News Barrett, and he zip ties him to the ring post, and forces him to sign the contract. So now BNB is going to defend the IC title against Dean Ambrose. I still think it sucks Dean Ambrose is in the mid card, but I think the match should be good. But it just sucks. I'm not looking forward to it. I think Dean Ambrose should be like in the main event. What happens next? Let me just think of something that happened next. What happened? Seth Rollins with J&J Security, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury had a match with Dolph Ziggler. Before the match, Seth Rollins was talking about how yesterday was President's Day, and that he doesn't have anything real. And he says that they focus on people from the past, but they should focus on the here and the now because he's the now, and he says he should be the president of the United States, and he says he's going to one day cash in the Money in the Bank contract and become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then he says he says that he shouldn't be wrestling Dolph Ziggler because he's beneath him. And then Dolph Ziggler comes out, makes fun of him, and I think he made some jokes to revolving the Sexton thing that he did last week because this is the first time we've seen him. I was interested to see what's going to happen, actually. And Dolph Ziggler's like, "I bet you had a bad Valentine's Day," and how Triple H talked to you about the birds and the bees. I thought that was great. And then they have the match. Well, then Seth Rollins says that his career is a joke. Ziggler's career is a joke compared to his. And then Ziggler attacks him and says, could never be a kiss-up douchebag to the authority." And then Ziggler attacks him. And then they have the match. It was a pretty decent match. J&J Security interfered and allowed Rollins to take control. And then they tried to attack Ziggler on the outside, but the referee kicks out the security. And then Rollins hits an enziguri. Ziggler kicks out. Ziggler hits the jumping DDT. Rollins kicks out. And then he hits the zigzag. He's about to get the victory. And then J&J Security attack him. And then Ryback and Eric Rowan make the save. And they chase off Rollins and the security. And then they announced that on SmackDown this Thursday, it's going to be Ziggler versus Rollins again, and this time J&J Security's banned from ringside. Why would the Authority make that match? Like, they're the ones in power. Why would they make that match? I'm just saying. When it's like they don't like Seth Rollins anymore. Maybe because of his Sexton pictures. Maybe. All right, so then we get Paige had a match. The Bellas, Nikki and Brie stole her clothes. Well, her winter gear, so she couldn't have it. So she wouldn't be able to have the match. So she borrows some from the Exotic Express / the Rosebuds, and she has a match with Summer Rae and still wins with the submission move. And then after, the Bellas come out and say that she looks like a loser. And Paige says that it doesn't matter what she wears as long as she's wrestling because she loves wrestling. And she said she's going to be wearing that Divas Championship around her waist. I thought it was fine. Actually, no, I didn't. I thought it fucking sucked. What else happened on this show? Because it's so hard to remember when you don't have the notes in front of you. Let me think. Darren Young was like gonna team up with this Jobber guy to face the Ascension, Connor and Victor. And before the match, the Ascension come out and attack him. And I was thinking, wow, this is Darren Young's big return to TV. But no, Titus O'Neil comes out, and they were both in the primetime players. So this was like a primetime players when you fight off the Ascension. And yeah, they fight him off, and the primetime players reunited. I think this is a great idea because you're losing some of the tag teams in the tag team division, like Gold and Stardust. You're going to lose Damien Mizdow and The Miz soon. So I think that's a great idea. I hope they keep this I hope they reunite this team. I liked this team when it was united. This is like they were united when I first started to come on this channel, and I liked them then, and I like them now. And I think they're going to do a match at Fastlane between the primetime players and the Ascension. I think that should be all good. And then Jimmy Uso and Naomi with Jey Uso had a match with Tyson Kidd and Natalya, and it was a mixed tag team match, which means the men can only fight the men and the divas can only fight the divas, and Cesaro was in Kidd and Natalya's corner. Cesaro continues to be used like a joke. Doesn't surprise me. It's nothing different. And Naomi beats Natalya with the roll up, and Tyson Kidd gets mad because she could have turned it into a sharpshooter. It was all very boring. Anything else good happened on the show? Big Show and Kane were arguing backstage, and Triple H is like, "Stop it! You're acting like a bunch of 6-year-olds. You need to represent me, because if you don't represent me, it makes me look bad." And trying to think if there was anything else good. We had there was no let me think. I already talked about the Cena thing. I already talked about let me think. So then we got Reigns versus Kane. Roman Reigns fought Kane, and Daniel Bryan was on commentary. And as the match was going on, Daniel Bryan kept doing the yes chant and distracted Reigns. But then Reigns beats Kane with a spear, gets him counted out because he speared him on the outside. And then Daniel Bryan went around the ring and did the yes chant. That was cool. Let me think. And then Roman Reigns and then Daniel Bryan says tonight, if you couldn't deal with the yes chance tonight, imagine what it's going to be like this Sunday at Fastlane. I thought that was cool because that's what it's going to be like. The fans are going to be pro Daniel Bryan and they're going to hate Roman Reigns. I think that's a very big possibility. Bray Wyatt, I got to talk about him. He kept cutting these promos talking about how he used to feel after what happened to you last year. It terrorized me. He said that he used to feel him, but he doesn't anymore. He's got to do something about it. And then he started like nailing the nail. And he said that he's gonna find this guy, or no, if this guy doesn't find him, he'll come find him. So I think you pretty much know who he's talking about. But if you don't know, I won't spoil it. It's probably gonna lead to something next week, because after Fastlane, I'm trying to think if there was anything else good on this show that's worth remembering. Let me just I need to remember. Let me just check my on the website real quick, because it's so hard to remember when you don't have the notes in front of you. And I only saw this show once. I'm just gonna go on the WWE YouTube page and check out and see if I missed anything before I get to the main event and before I get to these next two segments. Because I talked about the New Day and the Golden Stardust match. I talked about all that stuff. See, the thing is the video yesterday was so much better because I had I was able to actually get this video. Like, I couldn't get the video up because of my dad's old laptop. Just said the server doesn't like the file or something like that. So I thought that was pretty lame. But yeah, that just sucked. It really did. Yeah, thank you, one viewer, for watching this video. I don't know who's watching, but thank you. I have to start to get more viewers with this. I need to start giving more of a heads up in advance, so that way I can that way I can come on. Okay. All right. Don't you did. Come on. Wow. Okay, hold on. Come on. WWE. All right, I'm just gonna go on the YouTube page and check out, see what's going on. Like I said, thank you, one viewer, for sticking through this. I'm actually surprised you're watching this video since I gave you such a late notice. Trying to think what else happened on the show. Roman Reigns got interviewed and said that and Byron Saxton was asking him questions like Daniel Bryan asked if the Authority manipulated you into giving up your title shot at Mania, and he says no. They were trying to use the fan reaction to get Seth Rollins into the match, and he says that Daniel Bryan probably did. He asked if Daniel Bryan did the same thing, but he just took advantage of the opportunity, pretty much dancing around the questions. I thought that was cool. Okay, so let me see what else happened on WWE RAW last night before I before I get to before I talk about the two main things that happened. Okay, because I think I covered everything. I just missed some things here and there. I missed some probably backstage segments, which I kind of covered. They're definitely leading to a Big Show face turn, I think, which is sucks because it's like, I mean, I really don't care about the Big Show, but it's going to be like the 5,000th time he's turned face and heel. And I have a feeling if he turns face, he'll be heel after WrestleMania. They're probably going to do some sort of match with Big Show and Kane, and we're going to think it's all cool, but it really won't be. I'm really not interested in Big Show and Kane nowadays because I really just don't have an interest for them. They don't do anything for me nowadays. I mean, Kane needs to go back to being the demon Kane in the mask. I think that should happen. I think Kane should turn face. That would be kind of cool if Kane turned face instead of I also lost that viewer, by the way, but oh well. Instead of it's not my fault. I gotta stop. It's my fault. It's not. It's not my fault. I had this video up last. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue this. Okay. So yeah, I covered that. I covered that. Covered that. Covered that. Covered that. All right, I covered that. Yeah, covered. Okay, I covered everything. Okay, so I can talk about the last couple of segments. All right, so Triple H comes out and says, "People think I'm afraid of Sting, but I'm really not afraid of Sting. Sting's nothing to me. I'm going to destroy him at Fastlane." He says that this is going to be the first time that a WCW superstar, World Championship Wrestling, stands in the ring with a WWE superstar, which isn't true. But I think I know what he's getting at because he talks about how Sting, it was the icon and the face of WCW, and he respects Sting for not jumping ship when WCW was going downhill. He stayed and went down with WCW. He respects him for that. And then afterwards, he disappeared from wrestling after WCW was over, which we know isn't true because he went to TNA afterwards. And then WCW, and then Ric Flair from just out of nowhere comes out, talks about the stuff that Triple H said in his Hall of Fame and induction when he inducted Ric Flair into the Hall of Fame. And he says that Triple H can't take Sting lightly. He can't let Sting get inside Triple H's head. And he talked about how he thinks Triple H is the best wrestler of all time, but he's wrestling full time because because right now he's just running the company. He's an executive, which I think is cool that he said that. And he says that what else does he say? Oh, he also says that when people asked him if he was going to beat Daniel Bryan last year, he said no. And who was going to win last year between him and Daniel Bryan? He said Triple H is going to beat him in 5 minutes, but then 30 minutes later, Daniel Bryan beat him. I thought this was all very good stuff. And then Triple H pushes Ric Flair and says, "No one's going to get in the way of this company. This company is more important than my wife and my children, and nobody, including you, Sting, or anybody's going to get in the way of it." So I thought this was very great stuff. It's going to be the thumbnail of this video when the video actually comes up, and I think this was great stuff. I really enjoyed it. Great stuff. Definitely the highlight of the show. So then I'm just gonna cut right to the main event. Daniel Bryan had his match with Big Show. I thought this was a decent match, wasn't anything special. So Daniel Bryan's doing the yes kicks, not in the corner, but the one where the guy's down on the ground and he just kicks him, and he goes to Roman Reigns is is out there too, and he was doing things like signing autographs, taking selfies with the fans. And Daniel Bryan gets distracted by this, and then he goes to kick Big Show again, and he slaps him on the ground. No, that was actually when he did the sleeper hold. My bad. But when Daniel Bryan did the yes kicks, Big Show. No, actually, no, that was the. And then Big Show dominates the match for a while, and then Daniel Bryan gets Big Show in like the headlock choke and throws him over the ropes like Chris Benoit did at the Rumble. I thought that was cool. And then Daniel Bryan goes to dive on Big Show. Bryan kind of gets distracted because Roman Reigns is just throwing T-shirts into the crowd, which I thought was great. WWE merchandise. And then Big Show catches him, but then he tries to throw Bryan into like the barricade or something. And then Daniel Bryan crashes him head first into the post. And then Big Show almost throws Bryan into Reigns, and then they get into it, and then Big Show spears Reigns. Bryan is about to go off the top on the Big Show. Reigns Superman punches him, so Big Show wins by DQ. And then Bryan takes down Reigns with a drop kick. They have like a little face-off. Roman Reigns gets back in, tosses out Bryan, and then Bryan gets in. They brawl. They just have this big brawl. I thought it was great. And referees have to break it up. And they act like they're going to be all fine. They shake hands, but then they brawl again. Bryan drop kicks Reigns. Bryan does a suicide dive outside the ring. They fight in the crowd. It was great stuff. Bryan hits Reigns with a chair. Reigns stacks Bryan. They fight over the announce table. It was a great way to end the show. It got me hyped up to see the match. I really like this stuff. And that was Raw this week. I'm sorry this review isn't that great. But I don't have my notes in front of me. I look better when I have my notes, but my phone's dead, so I can't really go off my notes. And the other reason that it's not good is because I did it a day later. It's hard to remember when. I mean, I still remember it sort of, but it's just kind of hard to completely remember it. I like doing these Google Hangouts though. It's kind of cool to see, so the fans can watch me live. I need to learn how to give better notice of when we're live though. That's something I need to start doing. I really do. I might have to start doing this though, because my laptop's completely dead, and it's easier to do it because then I don't have to. The title's right here. I don't have to worry about like, I don't know. But anyhow, thank you guys for watching my Raw review. I'll be back tomorrow to give you. I'm sorry it's late, but it's not my fault. I'll be back tomorrow to give you my WWE NXT review, and then Friday will be Thursday actually will be SmackDown. SmackDown isn't on Fridays anymore. I got to get used to saying that. And Friday maybe will be TNA. I'm not sure. Saturday, Friday, I'm gonna get my Fastlane predictions up as well, and that's about it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be back to give you my NXT review on tomorrow, which is Wednesday.